Lesson 59, solving simultaneous equations with fractions and decimals. Remember that simultaneous equations is the same as systems of equations when we have two equations that are in the same plane. And you already know how to solve these with elimination or substitution or graphing, but the new thing for this lesson is the fractions or the decimals. And that's what we're going to get rid of first. So we have two different things. We have fractions and decimals. So for fractions, we're going to look for common denominator. Because we know that when we have the same denominator, we can just cancel the denominators. And for the decimals, we're going to multiply by a power of 10. So when we do that, what we're going to do for the fractions one is to have a common denominator of 10. So I'm going to multiply the first one times 5, both on the top and the bottom. The second one by 2, both on the top and the bottom. And the last one by 2 also, both on the top and bottom. And if I do that and I rewrite, I'm going to have 5x plus 6y equals negative 4. And I don't need the denominator anymore because we cancel it here once we have the same denominator in both sides of the equation. Now for the one of the decimals, we count how many decimals we have. We have 2 here, we have 1 here, and we have 2. So we're going to have to multiply times 100. All of the terms so that we don't change the value of the equation. And when I do that, I end up with 6x minus 20y equals 104. And now we're ready to do what we already know, which in this case, I'm going to do elimination. So I'm going to multiply the 5 times 6 and the 6 times negative 5 so that I get rid of the excess. When I do that, again, I have to rewrite everything after I multiply. 30x plus 36y equals negative 24. And negative 30x plus 100y equals negative 520. Now remember that in elimination we add, and that's when the first two are going to cancel because they are opposite to each other. And then we add the other ones, 136y equals negative 544. And if I divide that, the answer is negative 4. And just like we've done before in other exercises, then with that value of y that we just found, we go back to one of the originals. So I'm going to work with 5x plus 6y equals negative 4. And I'm going to change the value of y for negative 4 so that we can find the value of x. And again, it's because this is the value of y, so we change it here in the equation. And so here we're going to have 5x minus 24 equals negative 4. The 24 goes to add, so negative 4 plus 24 is positive 20. And then we pass the 5 to divide, which is 4. And our final answer, remember, we always put it as a point. So it's going to be first x and then y. And that's it. So again, it's the same thing that we've been learning and doing. The only difference is that the question is given in a different format. We're going to have an equation that has fractions and another equation that has decimals. But after we do the common denominator, and after we multiply by a power of 10 to get rid of the decimals and the fractions, then we can work as we have learned before with elimination or substitution. So now I have this exercise for you to pause the video, try to do it by yourself, and then you can check with my process. Okay, so as we talked before, what we're going to do is get rid of the denominator by doing common denominators. So 21 is the common denominator. I multiply times 7, both of those 2, and then times 3 here, top and bottom, and times 3 here as well. For the one of the decimals, we're going to multiply times 100 because again, we have two decimals that we need to get rid of. So we need to move the decimal 2 times. So we multiply times 100. So let's rewrite. The first one is going to be 7x plus 6y equals -9. And the second one is going to be x, 1x, but we don't need to put the 1, we just put x, minus 60y equals 303. And again here we're going to do elimination. So for me the easiest one to multiply by is by 10, so that we have 60 on the top and -60 on the bottom. So again we have to rewrite. That's going to be 70x plus 60y equals -90. And then here on the bottom we have x minus 60y equals 303. We didn't have to multiply anything on the bottom. And now we add. And so we have 71x. These two cancel because it's positive 60 minus 60. And then when I subtract that, I get 213. And when I divide by 71, I get 3. So x is 3. And again, we go back to the original question. I'm going to use this one. And I'm going to change the value of x. I'm going to change it for 3, which is the value we just found. So we pass the 3 to subtract, and then the -60 to divide. And when I do that, I get -5. So the answer, remember, as a point, is first the x 3 and then the y -5. And that's our point of intersection. Remember that these two are lines, and what we're looking is for the point where the two lines intersect. So that's it. That is the answer. Hope you guys got it right. If not, check your process to see what was your mistake, and you can learn from that. Okay, I'll see you in the next video.